Good evening. On behalf of the Mesquite School Board trustees, I want to welcome everyone here tonight. Appreciate you being here. I now call this meeting of the Mesquite Independent School District Board of Trustees on this Monday, January 13th, 2025, and the time is 6:00 p.m. A quorum of board members is present, and notice of this meeting was posted in compliance with the Texas Open Meeting Act. Again, I want to thank all of you for being here. We will now proceed with our agenda. First thing on the agenda is we will go into executive session. The board will now go into executive session under Texas Government Code Section 551.074 to discuss the general counsel's evaluation and contract renewal. No action will be taken in this closed session, and we'll be back as soon as we're finished. We will now reconvene from executive session for action relative to items considered during the executive session. First on the agenda tonight is our invocation by the Reverend Gerald Baker, pastor at Peace Church, and following him, we will have the pledges of allegiance to be led by the students from Thompson Elementary School, and the sponsor is Candace Griffin. If you wish to join in both, please stand with us. Reverend?
Amen. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we are gathered here today on this January evening with hearts full of gratitude for the opportunity to serve our community and its children here in Mesquite. Lord, we want to thank you for the ordinances that you've put in place, for the minds that you have created in each one of us and these children that we serve to learn, not just to learn, but Lord God, to grow. And for the leaders, we pray for them that are gathered here who have dedicated their time, they've dedicated their talents to shaping not just the future generations, but Lord God, the now generation of this great community in this city. Bless them as they pour hour after hour, not just where people can see it, but Lord God, at home at night, stretching into the evenings and the early mornings when no one sees what they do. You recognize it, and so I ask that you bless them. Lord, we ask for your wisdom to guide every decision that's made in this meeting. May everything that's being discussed here this evening be filled with respect, filled with your honor, commitment, and Lord, above all, let integrity lead. May it be what's best for the students, for the teachers, for the incredible families of the communities of Mesquite. God, we seek for unity. We seek for understanding and justice and what is right in all things. God, we lift up our teachers, our staff, all the administration who work tirelessly to educate. They inspire where inspiration often shouldn't be found. There they are inspiring. Strengthen them with your grace. Give them encouragement, we pray. God, we pray for the students that they're going to learn in a safe environment, in a loving environment, in an environment that's full of joy, and an environment that's full of peace. We also pray for the parents, Lord God, and the guardians, that you would grant them patience, Lord. As parents, God, do we ever need patience to deal with these kids? Give us patience, we pray. Give our teachers patience. Give us wisdom when we feel like we're about to lose it all. Give us your wisdom, Lord God, and give these teachers your wisdom. And finally, Lord, we acknowledge that apart from you, there's nothing that we can do. So we ask for your presence that makes all things right, to be part of this meeting. Let this meeting be a reflection of heaven, and may earth line up with heaven and the will of heaven. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Come on down here. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. You can pull the mic down a little bit if you want. Just lean it down. There you go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My name is Aaliyah Ortega, and I'm from Thompson Elementary.
Okay.
My name is Favor Oni, and I'm from Thompson Elementary, and I'm in 5th grade.
Okay.
My name is Zane Bassoon, and I'm from Thompson Elementary, and I'm in 5th grade.
Well, great job. Pleasure to know you. Next on our agenda is a team of 8 moment. I know, board members, we didn't list any tonight, but I have one I'd like to take personal privilege. I want to recognize Mr. Kevin Carble on being elected to the Dallas Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. And I want to thank the many governmental entities that for their support and votes. He'll be sworn in on January the 15th. Congratulations, Kevin. I know that you'll be a great addition to the DCAD board and represent Dallas County for all of our citizens. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Sabrina Smith.
Good evening, everyone. We are actually going to start the recognition portion of tonight's meeting by celebrating some very important people you see sitting right before you. January is School Board Recognition Month in Texas, an opportunity to honor the dedicated individuals who tirelessly serve their communities as volunteers and show our trustees how much we appreciate their work, leadership, and commitment to improving our schools. Tonight, the board members have been presented with thank you cards and printed canvases written and designed by MISD students that fit this year's theme. They also have received some very comfy and very branded slippers and a blanket to keep you warm on those winter snow days. We also have a couple of groups here tonight that would like to address the board and share their appreciation. So first, I'd like to call up the Mesquite Education Association President, Danny.
Good evening, school board. On behalf of the Mesquite Education Association, I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to each of you for your tireless leadership and unwavering commitment to the students, staff, and families of our district. It is truly an honor to stand before you today and recognize the crucial role you play in shaping the future of Mesquite ISD. As we embrace the theme of leadership for tomorrow's Texas, we are reminded that the work you do today is directly impacting the leaders of tomorrow, our students. Your thoughtful decisions, your vision for progress, and your constant advocacy for excellence in education ensure that we are preparing our young people not only to meet the challenges of the future, but to lead and innovate within it. MEA has always valued the collaborative relationship we share with the school board, and we are united in our goal of creating a supportive and enriching environment for both our educators and our students. Thank you for your leadership, your partnership, and your vision. We continue our work together, and I look forward to creating a bright future that our students deserve and that Texas needs. Thank you.
Next, we'd like to hear and welcome Ms. Emma McDonald, the Director of Library Services, to pay tribute to our board.
Good evening. In honor of School Board Appreciation Month, Library Services has purchased a book for each campus with a special dedication to our school board inside. The title of the book is Chasing Dreams by Cody Yamada. On the first page, the author shares this: "No one is going to hand your dreams to you. You must work for what you want. When you strive earnestly and consistently for a dream, you become the person capable of reaching it. The harder you work, the closer you get. Grab firmly to your dreams and hold tight. There is joy in giving your best to worthy pursuits. How you achieve your dream is how you live your life, intentionally, day by day. You can create what you want. Your dreams are counting on you. Your future is asking you to believe, to be brave, to make it happen. The most important part of realizing a dream will always be the dreamer." We chose this book because our school board supports and provides opportunities to help students and staff reach their dreams. One of the things I admire most about the members of this school board is that each and every one of you believes in each and every student and staff member in Mesquite ISD. This is evident in the core values you developed, especially people first, which encourages the growth of others. As school librarians, we also seek to empower others to reach their dreams. Sometimes this is offering an opportunity to try something new. Sometimes it is providing the space and time to explore and think. And sometimes it is sharing a book that inspires. I hope as you read this book that you will find inspiration and see yourself reflected in its pages. As you are chasing your dream of what Mesquite ISD can be, we thank you for all you do to empower the students and staff so that we can reach our dreams as well. Thank you.
So on behalf on staff, administrative, and the community of Mesquite, I'd like to again thank our school board. This year's theme is Leadership for Tomorrow's Texas, and for those of you who follow us on Facebook at Mesquite ISD TX, you will be seeing some tributes and bios, get to know our board members a little bit throughout the month. Now, we are honored to present 2 new inductees into the district's prestigious Apple Corps program. This is something we do every month. The Apple Corps Award is made possible by a partnership between the Mesquite Education Foundation and Clay Cooley of Mesquite. We have several members of the Education Foundation board here tonight, so we'd like to thank them for supporting our excellent teachers. Our first January Apple Corps honoree is Linda Howig of Mesquite High School. Linda is an AP Calculus and Pre-Calculus teacher with 41 years of teaching experience, all in Mesquite ISD. If you will turn your attention to, I was going to clap just for being an AP Calculus teacher. Turn your attention to the screens, we'll learn more about Ms. Howig.
Coach Linda Howig cares deeply about the success of her students and the teachers in her department. As department chair, she ensures her teachers have what they need so our students are successful. Her students get the very best from Coach Howig every day. She adjusts each year to fit their needs and will not settle for anything less than excellence for her students. I am very excited to welcome Coach Howig into the Mesquite ISD Apple Corps. Congratulations, Coach Howig.
I think teaching is important because I love to be able to help all the students that struggle and the ones that get it really quickly to have fun, to laugh, to achieve their goals, to watch them go, man, I get it. I mean, just the pride in them to get this, it's better than anything when you can do math and then you get it on your own. I help them to understand that it is okay to ask questions. It's okay to question anybody. As long as they understand the whys, they'll always achieve what they want.
Welcome, Ms. Howig. You come forward.
Come on up. About time, right? Coach Howig taught my son several years ago. Let me read this proclamation for you. Whereas the Mesquite ISD Board of Trustees seeks to honor outstanding classroom teachers who demonstrate leadership, innovation, and dedication to the students of Mesquite ISD. And whereas the Mesquite ISD Apple Corps consists of exceptional teachers, nominated by their peers to receive the school district's highest recognition, therefore be it resolved that the board officially welcomes Linda Howard into the Mesquite ISD Apple Corps on this 13th day of January 2025. Congratulations and thank you very much. You did good by the boy.
Yay, Linda. It's okay, I'm her mom.
Thanks, Mom. I want to thank everyone here that is supporting me, and especially all the ones that supported me over the years. Man, I didn't think I'd be this nervous, but I am. I want to thank Dr. Rivera and the entire school board. I also want to thank you for that great lunch. It was very nice. I want to thank all my past and present principals and our assistant principals at Mesquite High School, especially the ones that are here tonight. And I especially want to thank Mr. Johnson. It really is an honor receiving this from you. I want to thank my friends, my work family. We do become a family, working hard from early in the morning to late at night. My L Hall buds, my math peeps. You help me get through each day. Thank you for your kindness, your humor, for sharing your knowledge, and, of course, our Pink and Blue House special gatherings. And if you know, you know. I want to thank my entire family. I come from a real big family. They taught me to laugh and laugh a lot, to be tough, to work hard, and how to always find good in everyone. They know how much I love teaching. They know I love being a tennis coach and teaching math, along with doing as many math problems as possible. I want to thank my brothers and sisters, my brother that's here today and my sister-in-law. They trusted me to tutor their own children. I did this in my kitchen. I called it my sanctuary. They called it the torture table. They still laugh about it today. You know, they work really hard on math while I was enjoying every minute of it. Sanctuary, torture table, depending on who you are. I want to thank my mom and my dad. They're here. You heard my mom. Thank you for supporting me all the way from a very early age. Proud to say my mom was also a teacher. One of my favorite memories was she brought home this giant wheel, and it was pre-computer days, and it had problems on it, and you'd answer it, and then you would pull down and turn to see if you get the math right. To me, that was really fun. I always loved doing math. My dad always tried to challenge me. If I had any problems with math, my mom would send me, go ask your dad. He challenged me in many things, playing chess, playing tennis after long days of work. And today, he sends me a math puzzle, Sudoku, every single morning. Love you, Mom and Dad. I especially want to thank my husband, Bob, Tiffany, and Dalen. You guys are my heart. And you know better than anyone how much work I put into this job. Bob has been there to support me. He is my biggest cheerleader. My two kids, who are both amazing young adults now, they shared me on so many occasions with my math students, with my tennis players. I actually got to go on some fun playoff games, both in tennis and golf. And I was blessed to be able to teach Tiffany and coach her at Mesquite High School. I was blessed to share my tennis love with my son. They currently live in California in Austin, but they are here tonight on FaceTime. She's got to stop. I love what I do. Many ask my answer. Many ask me why, my answer. When you hear a student say, wow, oh, I get it. And the newest is, don't know where it comes from, but they say it. It is pretty amazing. I say this, when God gives you gifts, you should always share them. Again, thank you.
Our next Apple Corps honoree this evening is Yesenia Perez of Florence Elementary. Yesenia is a second grade bilingual teacher with 8 years of experience here in Mesquite ISD. Let's take a look at what makes Ms. Perez an Apple Corps teacher.
Florence is so proud of Ms. Perez. She is an amazing educator. She is a leader in everything that she does. With her students, she takes a vested interest in their success, not only academically, but also in their personal lives and just all around. Ms. Perez, we are so proud of you for becoming an Apple Corps recipient. It's a high, high honor, and we couldn't think of anyone more deserving for that this year. Florence Elementary is really proud, and you deserve it.
So I think teaching is important because we have to build our students for our future. They are going to be our future leaders someday. So we need to build in them, with them relationships, academic success. They need to aspire to be someone in the future. And I think that's where we come in as teachers. So it's not just the educational part, it's also the social, emotional part that is going to help us build those future leaders.
Whereas the Mesquite Independent School District Board of Trustees seeks to honor outstanding classroom teachers who demonstrate leadership, innovation, and dedication to the students at Mesquite ISD. And whereas the Mesquite ISD Apple Corps consists of exceptional teachers like you, nominated by their peers to receive the school district's highest recognition, therefore be it resolved that the board officially welcomes Yesenia Perez to the Mesquite ISD Apple Corps on this day, 13th day of January. Thank you.
I'm gonna take a minute to breathe. Okay. So good evening, everyone. I am deeply honored and humbled to receive this award today. First and foremost, I want to thank God for his guidance and blessings in my life. Without his grace, none of this would be possible. También me gustaría expresar mis más sinceros agradecimientos a mi familia. Su apoyo inquebrantable y amor han sido mi fundamento. A mis padres, ¿se paran, por favor? Mi mamá y mi papá. Gracias por su interminable aliento y por inculcarme los valores que han formado quien soy hoy. A mi esposo Juan, ponte de pie. I had to do that as an order because otherwise he won't get up. Mi más sincero gracias por ser mi roca y mi mayor apoyo. Tu amor y creencia en mí han sido mi fuerza en cada desafío. A mis dos increíbles hijos, Sebastián y Esteban. Ustedes traen tanta alegría e inspiración a mi vida. Verlos crecer y aprender ha sido una de mis mayores bendiciones. A todos mis estudiantes, ustedes son mi inspiración. Su curiosidad, dedicación y entusiasmo me impulsan a ser una mejor maestra cada día. Este premio es tanto suyo como mío. To my colleagues and admin, please stand up. Thank you for your collaboration, friendship, and support. Working alongside such talented and passionate individuals have been a privilege, and I have learned so much from each and every one. I am grateful for the knowledge and experience we have shared together. Nevertheless, Thank you, Board and Dr. Rivera, for your trust and support. Gracias por este increíble honor y estoy verdaderamente agradecida.
Sabrina, just give me a second. Ms. Howard, I know that you talked about them, but can we get your family to stand up except for Bob? So we can thank them appropriately. Well, thank you for all you do to support her and her efforts and what she does for this district. The second family is your Mesquite High School family. If they're here, if they're already standing, raise their hand. If they're not standing, stand, please, so we can recognize and thank you also. Mesquite High School. Ms. Perez, I know that you recognize your family. If you want them to stand up one more time, we'd like to really thank them for all they do and what you do. If they would stand, all of them. Thank you. And for your second family, Florence Elementary, anybody that's here from there, please stand and be recognized, and thank you for what you do. Congratulations to both of you. You too, Bob. Sabrina.
All right. It's time for us to recognize our Outstanding Paraprofessional of the Month with the Star Para Award. We're excited to have First Financial Group of America partnering with us to provide the Star Para recipient a $50 gift card. I'd like to ask our FFGA representative to join our January Star Para, Ms. Lori Lau, at the front, along with Assistant Superintendent of Partnerships and Strategic Initiatives, Dr. Leslie Feinglass, at the podium. I'd like to take a photo and congratulate Ms. Lori Lau.
Good evening, President Seward, trustees, Dr. Rivera. Tonight, we get to honor Lori Lau and the incredible impact she has on our team. If there's one word that describes Lori, it's dedicated. She approaches every task with a level of focus and care that is truly inspiring. Whether it's organizing schedules, managing deadlines, or solving unexpected challenges, she consistently thinks through every detail, ensuring nothing falls through the cracks. Her ability to anticipate the needs of our team shows her commitment to our department. Lori goes above and beyond to make sure everyone is taken care of and has the support they need. Her kindness shines through in every interaction, making everyone feel valued and appreciated. Her helpful nature makes her the go-to person for solving problems, even for people who aren't in our department. Lori is not just an exceptional administrative assistant, she is the glue that holds our team together. On behalf of our department, we thank her for her hard work and her thoughtfulness.
Thank you and congratulations, Ms. Lau. Next, we are pleased to recognize two community partners tonight who have supported Mesquite ISD and the Mesquite ISD community. First up is Dallas Regional Medical Center, who's partnered recently with Read Play Talk to launch a new baby book bag program. We have a video here to show you more about this great partnership.
We're excited to recognize Dallas Regional Medical Center as our featured Mesquite ISD community partner. This fall, Dallas Regional Medical Center partnered with Read Play Talk to establish the Baby Book Bag Program, which are distributed to new moms after they deliver a baby at their hospital. Inside the baby book bags, families can find a bilingual board book, a developmental milestone chart, and information from several community partners.
Well, we're strong supporters of the school district, and when you think about it, the two most important things in the community are education and healthcare. So it seemed like it was the perfect opportunity to blend them both, to bring education to the families that are hopefully soon going to be in the school system. We wanted that to get the information into those families' hands as soon as possible so they could take the steps to make sure they're following the developmental goals on the growth chart and make sure that they're keeping their families healthy.
Thank you, Dallas Regional Medical Center, for your support of Read Play Talk and Mesquite ISD.
Thank you very much to Dallas Regional Medical Center. Our next partner award tonight is none other than the Mesquite ISD Education Foundation and their board of directors. This board volunteers their time and invests personal resources into this district and is responsible for funding nearly $5 million in grants since 2004. Let's watch a video and learn more about the Education Foundation Board.
To our Mesquite Education Foundation Board. Your commitment to education and your passion for our teachers and students have made a profound impact on the lives of our students. I was a science teacher at McDonald Middle School 20 years ago, and I received a classroom grant from the foundation. And now I get to sit around a table with you, and I see firsthand the commitment and the countless hours that are given for our students and teachers. On behalf of the district, the teachers, the students, our entire community, thank you for giving so much of your time, your expertise, and your heart. Your work is invaluable, and we are incredibly grateful for your continued support.
What an honor it is to be able to recognize the Mesquite ISD Education Foundation Board of Directors this month. As the Executive Director of the Mesquite ISD Education Foundation, I've had the experience of working firsthand with our incredible Board of Directors for about 12 years. Collectively, our current board has served this organization for almost 250 years. The legacy they've left through service of the foundation and raising money to support MISD teachers and students is profound, and I'm just so privileged to have the opportunity to work with them every day.
Thank you again to our Education Foundation Board. Next up is my favorite part of our recognitions. We have some young people here to recognize. These are student athletes, several student athletes who we're recognizing tonight, not for winning on the field or the court, but academic achievements in the classroom. So first up, we have Dylan Barnes of Poteet High School, THSCA Academic All-State second team for tennis with his coach, Phil Gordon. Next up, we have Hunter Moore, Poteet High School, THSCA Academic All-State, second team for tennis. And we have Leah Harline, Poteet High School, THSCA Academic All-State, second team for tennis. All right, next up we have Jaden Walker from Poteet High School, Texas High School Coaches Association Academic All-State second team for football, with his coach Justin Velasquez. All right. Next we have Lincoln Allen from Poteet High School, Academic All-State second team for football. All right, next up we have Yuretsi Funes for Poteet High School, Academic All-State second team for football. And Jose Cuna, Poteet High School, second team Academic All-State for football. And Ashton Jimenez, Poteet High School, Academic All-State second team for football. Next up is Trinity Alced, Poteet High School, Academic All-State team for volleyball. Next up, we're going to move on to some Skeeters. Sebastian Matamoros, Mesquite High School Academic All-State second team for cross country, along with Coach Rhonda Ray. And we have Lakay Egowan from Mesquite High School, Academic All-State second team for volleyball, along with Coach Alana Cummings. Next up, we have Frida Mora, Mesquite High School, Academic All-State second team for volleyball. And Genesis Minchu, Mesquite High School, Academic All-State, second team for volleyball. Next up, we have Soraya Witt, Academic All-State, second team for volleyball, Mesquite High School. Moving over to the west side, we have Jaden Redmond, West Mesquite High School, Academic All-State, second team for football. And from Horn, Texas, we have Cameron Canty, John Horn High School, All-State, second team for football, along with Coach Courtney Allen. Another Jaguar, Cody Wright, second team Academic All-State for football. Oh. And we have one final recognition tonight. We have an Excellence in Fine Arts recognition for Faith Buckley. This past weekend, Faith was selected to represent Poteet High School and Mesquite ISD as an all-state dancer at TDEA. Along with 270 dancers from across the state, they performed at the TDEA convention this past Friday night. Faith was also recognized with the CP Intensify Scholarship from choreographer Phil Wright. Faith is here with her sponsor, Nicole Moisen. And this concludes our celebration and recognition of excellence in Mesquite ISD.
Before we take a recess, I want to thank everybody for being here. We'd love for you to stay when we reconvene to go over some important business. And one of those is a facilities committee report that some of you may be interested in. But prior to that, on behalf of the board and board members, you can jump in. We want to thank you for the recognition from the MEA and the library and the administrators. We love what we do. All of us focus on what's best for kids in this district. We work hard at it. Every one of these members, they do their work. They study, they train, and they hold their feet to the fire, everybody's feet to the fire when we make decisions in the best interest of our kids. We've got great staff in this district. We've got great educators. We love what we do, and thank you from the bottom of our hearts for that recognition. Anybody else?
That works.
All right. If you don't mind, if you guys could wait for a few minutes, I think this presentation would be very important. If you'll let us move that up, we'll take a break right after this presentation. It's very important for this community, for everybody to hear this. So if you can stay, we appreciate it. If you can't, I understand. So we'll go ahead and move up and start the presentation from the Facilities Committee. Dr. Fields? And thank you for your patience.
Good evening, President Seward, Board of Trustees, Dr. Rivera. I am really excited to be here with this. Come on around, you guys. You're presenters as well. This is my team of co-presenters sharing with you the work of our facility committee that has been underway for the last many months. We have Mr. James Huckabee, former MISD employee and resident of Mesquite. We have Ms. Cassandra Morris, parent and resident of Mesquite ISD, and Ms. Lexi Benuelos. She is a student in Mesquite ISD. And they were committed participants who also agreed to come here with me today and help present the recommendation from the facility committee. So for tonight's presentation, we're going to go over a number of different things. First, we're going to start off talking a little bit about the committee. Then we'll talk about some of the feedback that we received from our community about what they saw as our needs and how we should best address those needs. We'll go over a bond financial recap, go over the facility assessment highlights, and then finally conclude with what the facility committee's recommendation is. It is the ongoing responsibility of Mesquite ISD to continuously assess our facility needs. That's not something that we do just every few years. That is something that continues over time, where we identify deficiencies and inequities at existing facilities. We also review our financial data and understand what capacity we have to address some of those needs. And at the same time, study our demographics and our enrollment trends, making sure that we are adjusting and making decisions appropriate to serve all of the students in our school district. And then, periodically, we convene a committee, like these individuals and others, to help inform some of the decisions that we need to make about some of those short-term needs as well as long-term planning. We engaged our community in a couple different ways. First, we wanted to make sure that we had broad representation from our community, so we sent out a survey through means of a postcard. We mailed it to over 5,000 households of registered voters in Mesquite ISD to get their feedback about how they felt about how Mesquite ISD was doing in general, what they thought about the facility needs, and how they best recommended we address those needs. But we also knew, above and beyond just broad, big picture information from the larger community, we wanted to have some real, authentic, face-to-face conversations with community members, a cross-section of our community, to make sure that we were making decisions that really represented the perspectives of our community. So we invited 43 different individuals. Participation consisted of students. We had students from every feeder pattern. We had parents, community members, business owners, civic leaders, grandparents, board members were on that committee, and we had a lot of fun and a lot of robust conversation about the facilities in our school district. What I'd like to do right now is, I think we have a number of people who served on that facility committee, and I want to acknowledge their participation. They were extremely committed and showed up at every single meeting, and we're just so thankful for their participation and engagement in the process. So if you were on the facility committee and you're in the audience today, will you please stand so we can recognize you? Once we decided that it was time for us to convene that facility committee, one of the first things we wanted to do was give them a really solid understanding of district history, finances, facility needs, and operations. And then after we gave them that baseline understanding, we took them through a protocol to prioritize our facility needs. We looked at them through a lens of what are our most urgent needs versus lesser urgent needs, and which needs really have the greatest impact on our students in the school district, and developed consensus about how to address the district needs. And then ultimately, that committee, after multiple meetings, they came to consensus about a recommendation. And that's why we're here tonight, is to share with you what that committee's recommendation is. And then, of course, it will be the Board of Trustees' responsibility to determine whether or not to accept that recommendation. But that will not be happening tonight. Tonight is information only, so that you have opportunity to reflect on the presentation from the committee and certainly ask us any questions at the conclusion of the presentation. So with that, I'd like to hand it over first to Lexi Benuelos, our student from Poteet High School, and she's going to share with you how our first meeting together proceeded. Sorry about that. Yeah, you just click there.
Good evening. My name is Lexi Benuelos, and I am a student at Poteet High School.
I had the pleasure of serving on the Facility Planning Committee, and I would like to share with you a summary of our first committee meeting, which was held on September 24th. In this meeting, we learned about MISD demographics and enrollment, the history of bonds within our district, and how the facility assessment process works. We also saw the results of a community survey in the district that was conducted with likely MISD voters, and I'm going to share with you some of those results now. Before the committee met, MISD conducted a community survey. A postcard was sent to the household of over 5,000 likely voters living in MISD, and links were provided on social media and sent via email to both staff and families. We had 863 responses, and you can see here the makeup of respondents was very balanced. Those percentages don't add up to 100% because individuals were allowed to select from more than one category. This slideshow shows the level of satisfaction with quality of education in MISD. As you can see, an overwhelming majority of respondents are somewhat satisfied to very satisfied. Here we see that when asked if they would support raising taxes to improve schools, 70% agreed or strongly agreed. In this slide, you can see that the overall support for a bond election to build new educational facilities and additions was very high, with 41% being very likely and 24% being somewhat likely to support a bond. This is a very positive response number for an initial survey such as this. Also, at the very first meeting, we talked about the importance of the committee's call to action. 3 things that we would focus on as we work to understand the district's needs and worked as a committee to determine what, if any, action we would recommend. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Cassandra Morris to talk to you about our second meeting.
This one, okay. Good evening. My name's Cassandra Morris, parent to Mercutio. He attends Kimbrough Middle School. I'm also PTO campus parent. I wanted to take a few minutes to share with you a recap of the committee's second meeting, which was held on October 21st. During the first portion of the meeting was learned about how public school finance works. One of the first things we learned is that all districts in Texas have 2 main funding buckets that make up their budget, and the money in each of those buckets can only be spent on certain things. The maintenance and operations budget is the district's general operating fund and is used to pay for annual day-to-day operations like salaries, supplies, utilities, insurances, repairs, fuels, etc. The interest and seeking fund can only be used to pay back debt for items such as construction, innovations, roofing, HVAC, buses, technology, etc. Schools have to issue bonds, if approved by voters in an election, to complete any of these big ticket items, similar to a family taking out a mortgage. A bond is a contract to repay borrowed money over time with a fixed tax-exempt interest rate. We also learned about our bond capacity and tax rate history. First, it's important to point out that when voters approved the VADER in November of 2022, that was a 3-penny increase to the M&O tax rate, which, as we saw in the last slide, is the general operating budget. The increased funding from the passage allowed the district to provide teacher and staff raises and make some safety and security upgrades. However, those additional dollars do not go in the I&S bucket to fund any of the facilities needs presented to the committee. Even with the increase to the M&O budget, the district has lowered the overall tax rate by over 42 cents since 2018, with a conservative growth rate in the tax base and a penny increase on the I&S side of the tax rate. The district's financial advisor explained that our bond capacity is approximately $600 million. The second half of meeting 2, we had a closer look at the items included in the facility assessment report. Before we began to sort and prioritize projects, we looked at 3 important categories to consider. Number 1, the difference between basic and significant maintenance. Some campuses need routine repairs or updates that are important but not urgent. Others have major replacements or repairs that are urgent and necessary, like a boiler from 1967. Number two, there were projects on several campuses related directly to safety and security, which are deemed urgent and very important. Number three, lastly, we learned about the replacement cycles that the district has maintained over the years with previous bonds to address replacements of roofs, buses, and classroom technology. As a committee, we knew we needed to make sure that we recommend a plan to address growth in the south section of the district. Horn is our largest high school, and some people have expressed concerns that it could become overcrowded. We were able to see with this chart that with the new addition of the 9th grade wing at Horn, they are currently only at 84% practical capacity and aren't predicted to reach over 90% of practical capacity until 2033 or 34. We would see later in our project sorting activity that this is not the case with some of our elementary campuses on the south side of the district, which are already at or near practical capacity. These were the guiding questions for the group as we looked at each project or item and discussed where it should fall based on urgency and impact. Each group spent the remainder of the meeting discussing the cards and placing each one into one of our 4 categories: high urgency, high impact, high urgency, low impact, low urgency, high impact, and low urgency, low impact. Each card listed the highlights and important information about each project. There was some great conversation amongst each group, and I think it was pretty beneficial to learn what was needed in other communities and to get the perspective of fellow community members. It was interesting to see what teachers, students, parents, and business professionals thought we needed. Mr. Carbo was sitting at our table, and it was fun. It was more fun than I thought it would be. And I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Huckabee, who will share the summary of meeting 3.
Good evening. Let me begin by thanking this awesome Board of Trustees for the opportunity to serve on this committee, as well as Dr. Rivera and Dr. Fields for your work and the work of the staff. So it's indeed an honor to be here tonight. I was reflecting with Greg Everett when I came into the meeting some 33 years ago on this specific date, January 13th, 1991, I became an employee of MISD. And I believe, Mr. Everett, you were elected also during that time. So it's a great honor. My family has been raised here, my kids, a very great school district, and a wonderful 31-year employment tenure with the district. So thank you for this opportunity, as well as my co-presenters that are here tonight. So meeting number 3, there were 4 meetings scheduled, but meeting number 3, it started out with a review, and I didn't advance the slide. Okay. It started out, we took a deeper dive into the district's credit rating, interest rate, previous bonds, and annual debt service. We learned how the bond package budget is built on total project costs, which included construction costs, cost escalation, and built-in contingency. Then it was time to recap and revisit the project priorities and review the results of the group's sorting activity from meeting number 2. So questions we considered: to what extent will this option address short-term and long-term needs? What are the consequences of not addressing the items included in the other options? And how would the community feel about this option? Dr. Fields walked us through a summary of how each group ranked the different projects from high urgency, high impact, to low urgency, low impact. Then she presented us with 3 different bond package options which addressed the ranked priorities that we had discussed to various degrees. The committee was asked to review the options and discuss these questions in small groups. Decision points that we considered ensure that the tax increase would be no more than 1 cent. Our bond capacity of $600 million. And the low urgency and low impact items were removed. Yes, there were a lot of items that were on the list, but those that had low urgency and low impact were removed during our sorting. So after spending some time discussing these decision points, the committee was asked to vote electronically and anonymously on which proposal they supported, and by a landslide, we selected the options that met these 3 key points. The committee's recommendations are going to be outlined in the next slides. So our campuses, the district has done a lot during the last 12, 15 years in making our campuses more secure. And that starts with your point of entry going into the campuses. Back at one time, all the schools, you would walk through the front door and have to hunt for the office. You didn't go through any checkpoint where someone asked you for ID, why are you here, what do you need? And so 2 of our campuses, AC New Middle School and McDonald Middle School, they're in need of some basic maintenance and improvement. Also secure vestibule at the entry area. So those are 2 things that we think are definitely necessary to manage the flow of traffic in our building. And the one thing that we cannot have in our schools is people that walk through a front door and have the opportunity to wander over, whether if it's a Horn, it's a 400-something thousand square feet without going through checkpoints. We believe that it's imperative that we reconstruct those campuses' entry points as well as address each campus' basic maintenance needs. Our recommendation also includes installing enhanced security technology to aid in preventing and responding to any possible intruders at our campuses. Another safety recommendation includes relocating some of the elementary playgrounds closer to the building and adding perimeter fencing, as well as improving and updating aging playground equipment. If you lived in Mesquite long, you know that most of our elementary playgrounds are a shared playground collaboration with the city of Mesquite. And during the daytime, there are people that might be visiting a park, say at one of the elementary campuses, and they can just come up and have opportunity and play and do whatever they want on our playground. So this is important. The fencing will make sure that our kids are protected from the general public that just happen to come and want to see what's going on the playground. So our recommendation also includes addressing the continuing growth and development in the southern part of our district, both current and future needs. While the recent addition at Horn High School accommodates the current and projected enrollment for the campus, but the field house is a problem. When this school was constructed, Horn had an enrollment of 1,300 students. This space is no longer adequate for instruction and programming. So our recommendation includes an expansion of the field house at Horn High School. Horn High School enrollment is right at 2,700 students. As of this morning, it's 2,697 students at Horn, which is an increase of 1,397 right at 1,400 students in that field house. And as you know, that field house is just not football. It's for all of our academic programs and use for all those students at Horn High School. Each campus, we recommend expansion of 3 elementary campuses. That is Perrong Elementary. It's at capacity. We're recommending that it be expanded, plus basic maintenance and improvements in addition to the storm shelters. The same at Thompson Elementary, recommending that it be expanded, plus basic management and improvements, plus an addition of a storm shelter. And with Smith Elementary, the same recommendation, basic maintenance, improvement in a storm shelter. And most of you know, if you keep, every time we add or significantly add at a campus, then by the building code, we have to put a storm shelter at those campuses. The other recommendation includes a pre-K center for Horn to accommodate, in the Horn feeder, to accommodate a future development and growth. This facility, we're proposing to provide a state-of-the-art early childhood learning environment while also alleviating the continued growth and enrollment in this area. Okay, next slide, maintaining existing facilities. And we took a look at campuses, and the first recommendation is Motley and Lawrence Elementary to consolidate these schools. These are our two older schools, but specifically, Motley Elementary was constructed in 1962, some 63 years ago, and Lawrence was constructed in 1967, some 58 years ago. And these schools, I think you can throw a rock from one and hit the other, come pretty close. So this will allow an opportunity to improve the learning environment at those particular campuses, as well as a modern learning environment, all the safety, all the security, all the technology, everything that we would need at those particular campuses. And Motley has received some renovation, but that was a outside school. You used to enter from the exterior doors. The renovations did improve it, but it's definitely not at the quality and standard as you would find at Auxiliary, Perrong, and some of the other near elementaries in the district. So there are 3 high schools also on the list, and the 3 high schools are in need of some major facility updates and to improve the quality of some learning space and reduce the number of portables used for instruction. So these campuses still have the portable or single classroom units, as we used to like to say, as SCUs, which is a fancy word for portables. And when I arrived in the district in 1991, because I insured everything, we had somewhere north of 452 portables. You think about portables, there are no restrooms. You think about students are outside, they have to walk inside to a restroom to go to some of the resource type assistance they might need. And so this would significantly remove those portables from those buildings. Also at Kimball, significant maintenance and improvement is needed at Kimball Elementary. The foundation at Kimball Elementary, if you drive by there, you will see that that foundation is in serious need of repair. Price is at capacity and it needs additional space. And construction of all 6 campuses would also include the storm shelter. And when you look at it, you have a number of schools in the district that's aggressively been doing this. If the tornado siren goes off, there is a safe place there for staff and students. But there are still schools in the district that we have not added the storm shelter, and this will go a long way to making that happen. Transportation is also on the list. There are portables at the transportation center, and so we're recommending to eliminate the portables at the transportation center that house our employees and include replacement of end-of-life fuel tanks. So as you imagine, we do have buses in the district, and below ground at the transportation center, though we have underground fuel storage tanks. That's diesel gasoline and regular gasoline. Those fuel tanks range in size from 12,000 gallons to 20,000 gallons. Those tanks were installed between 1985 and 1986, 40 years ago today. The life expectancy of an underground fuel storage tank is 30 years. And over the last few years, we've had some issues with them. And the reason I know so much about them because I insured it, it's called pollution liability. And if you can just imagine collectively, there's about 70,000 gallons of gasoline underground. And if those tanks are leaking, just think about the liability that we would face as far as cleanup, plus the harm we would do. So that's high on our list as well to replace those tanks. Another slide, we say roof replacement cycle. So the school district, for 30 years, if you will, has had an excellent plan in place to replace aging roofs at our building. And when you look at the importance of a roof when you're trying to buy insurance, and Mr. Bingham, I know that was your career line of work, the age of the building goes a long way. And plus, when you look at a building and potential for loss, and this is wind and hail area in Dallas County, then the better your roofs are, then the less likely the extent of your loss will be. Do we have insurance replacement costs? You bet, absolutely. You see that every year. But the problem is the disruption. So if you don't have appropriate roofs on your building, then you stand a chance of that building not being available for its instructed or intended purposes in the event of a loss. One of the things that, as you're aware, the Risk Management Department is responsible for the purchasing or procurement of insurance of all of our buildings, value, buses, trucks, you name it. In this district, our insurance value, just for the insurance guy, Gary, is $1.95 billion with a B. That's our total insured value. Now, as you know, there are a lot of things that affect or impact insurance rates. You move from a soft market, which means insurance is cheap and we're all happy. And then it goes to a hard market where you get your homeowner's insurance or auto insurance. You say, what happened? So we've been in a hard market for some years. There is not much we can do. Now, this is based a lot on weather-related incidents. Do the fires in Southern California impact it? Absolutely, you bet. So there's not much we can do other than to present the district to the underwriting community as a consumer, and we have risk management and programs in place that will lessen our loss. And so, as you know, when you're buying homeowners insurance, it's just like a commercial. What is the age of your roof is an important question. So one of the things that we have enjoyed in the district is our roof replacement program that we have documentation on. We share that with the insurance underwriting community, is the inspection of our facilities. And these two things has resulted in the district getting extremely favorable insurance rates on our property insurance for the last 25 years. And an insurance rate, and I know we have a couple of accountants up here, but the insurance rate is the amount of money you pay per $100 value. Mesquite ISD, on its $1.95 billion worth of total insured value, we pay 10 cents per $100 value. I have a spreadsheet I'm not going to put up here tonight, but there are 15 districts in the North Texas area that has at least $1 billion in property value. The rates that they're paying, it's all over the board. It ranges from a low of 10 cents per $100 value up to 51 cents. And we're talking about all the school districts that, in this North Texas area. And fortunately, Mesquite pays a 10 cents per $100 rate. And so when you look at what the average district, and when I average all 15 of them, their average rate among the 15 is 30 cents. So you think about your 10 cents compared to the average of 30 cents. Right now, we're paying $3.3 million for our $1.9 billion worth of property insurance. And we have a very favorable rate. And this program will allow us to continue. And by estimating and looking at this, if we were to have to pay 30 cents, then you multiply that 3.3 million times 3. And other things, your claim history, your loss history, those type things do impact it as well. A bus replacement cycle. We have some aging buses. You've seen them. You've seen the new buses. You've seen some aging buses. And we would like to continue that. As you know, the state law now requires new buses to wear seat belts. And the newer buses with the seat belts, they're much safer. And so the district has been doing that, and the passage of this bond will allow that to continue. And then the instructional technology replacement cycle. And then there are some other things. So the key factors is 2 middle schools with a secure entry vegetables, 10 storm shelters, AI-enhanced security cameras, consolidate the 2 oldest elementary schools with new construction, reduce 53 portables that are currently being used for instruction, decrease the crowding pattern and Horn area, increase outdoor safety for most elementary schools, and extend the time until another bond is needed. Thank you very much.
Before I open it up for questions, board members, Dr. Fields is coming up. I want to thank Lexi, Cassandra, and James. Thank you for these outstanding reports, but more importantly, thank you for your contributions and participation in the committees. As a student, thank you for representing the student body. And James, for representing the community and a former employee, and Cassandra, for representing the parents. I appreciate that very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Board members, it's open for questions for you. Comments?
I was fortunate to sit on the committee with the community members, and it was an outstanding group of people, lots of conversation, lots of things, and lots of insight as to where we are with the district in a lot of the facilities. And that was a great report, and it's still, there's just so much out there we wish we could do, but it's only money, right? I mean, we've got some trees planted out back, but they just haven't come to fruition yet for money trees. I think this is a good product from the committee, and I think they've addressed our needs. It was really insightful to see as they got together talking about what is high impact and what's not, and what are our needs versus that how many students it's going to impact. And I think we've done well as a board. The past bonds we've done is to try to impact as many students as possible with that money, trying to be prudent with that money. I think every feeder pattern in this presentation is represented, and there's a lot of work to get done to where with this package, I think we can go many years into the future, hopefully, without having to do this again and get a lot of things taken care of. Storm shelters is a big thing. I think the package that we're looking at is was it total of 9 or 10 storm shelters? 10 total storm shelters, and that gets us almost a third of the way to finish our district out, which is a huge leap. Hopefully we can work on some more of that in the future, but it's a very good process, and I think it was very informative, and I think it's good information for our community.
What is the official recommendation from the committee? Do you have a number that you're recommending?
The entire facility needs assessment recommendation that we have is a $600 million bond to tackle the needs included in this recommendation.
I like Eddie and Kevin served on this committee as well, and we had a lot of really good information coming from our architectural firm, our financial advisor, Dr. Rivera, Dr. Fields, Mr. Prado, made some great presentations. This report was a whole lot more detailed than what I was anticipating. In our 125-year history of Mesquite ISD, there was a bond referendum back in 1937 that was for $10,000. That's the only bond referendum that's ever failed in this community throughout the 125 years. I don't know the details regarding that, but this community and the voters have demonstrated the willingness to invest in the students of this community. And like Eddie said, every bond package that we've ever held and the voters have approved has generally affected every student within the Mesquite ISD. And I think it's a great report that y'all provided. Thank you very much for the time that was spent. Fantastic.
Mr. Everett, if I could just say one more thing in response to your question. We are very cognizant of of the impact on our community when we do go for a bond. And so we have been extremely conservative when we're talking about what potential kind of tax increase we would be considering. This is a 1 penny increase if the board does indeed decide to call for a bond that would tackle all of the needs that were presented in Mr. Huckabee's slides. So it would only be a 1 cent tax increase on the INS side of the tax rate.
Well, I'm going to echo some of what Mr. Rose said. One of the things that was significant to me is, and we said this earlier, yeah, we had some good fun, Cassandra, but I think every table had fun. There were 42 members that went through this process, and normally the goal is to reach consensus. Well, we were so clear, and we got so much information that we went beyond consensus. We reached agreement. This whole group was agreeable in the end result. And I think you had very good representation from your community, your parents, even your students that were there and understood completely, made some great questions, and thank God, we were able to give them the understanding they needed. We tackled safety, we tackled aging buildings, transportation. These were the major needs. And it's very important, like we talked about, the fuel tanks and all that Mr. Huckabee mentioned. It's very important that we do something now, and we can't wait, because the longer you wait, the more difficult it's going to be to really fix any issues that come about. So I'm really, really proud of this team and what this committee has come up with. And thank you for letting me be a part of it. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I want to thank you, committee, for including everybody. Every one of the feeder patterns has something that comes from this bond. I think that's important to the voters, is that nobody's left behind. And so thank you for that, and that's good insight. That is good insight our needs to the district, so thank you.
I would echo all that. I've seen what we've done in the last 2 bond issues that we've done, and we always been able to do more than what we thought with each of those, because we manage our finances so well. And I expect that to happen here as well. But thank you for all your hard work. It's a big number, but there's big needs and big benefit for everybody, so thank you.
Coming out of it, y'all that were there, y'all feel confident that this is exactly what we need?
Yes, ma'am.
You do? Okay. Good deal.
Just one more, just for the community. So we're talking about, if this gets approved, we're talking about a 1 cent tax increase. What does that mean on an annual basis for the average homeowner in Mesquite? You can just yell it from the, you don't have to come up, you can just yell it from the cheap seats, it's fine.
We haven't used it before. So currently, the average home value in Mesquite, when you take into consideration the $100,000 homestead, so you take that off the top, it's approximately $170,000. On that, a penny would be an annual impact of about $17. On a home that is worth $250,000, again, minus the $100,000 homestead, that will be an annual increase of about $25. And on the home that's $350,000, it would be about $35 annually.
So on average, you're looking at about a $30 a year increase in your taxes if this were to pass. I think that's a pretty good investment.
Mm-hmm. Good bang for your buck. Yeah.
When you sat in your groups and y'all had your discussion and you pushed some things off, the things that came to the top, you're ready to say, this is what we're doing. We need this like right now.
Yes.
You do? Yeah. Good. I like it. Because it's a big number. And even though we're saying it's a penny and but people will see construction, they'll see some investment here. You want the representative, people who sat there and dug into it, and we're sitting digging into it. You want to be able to say, we backed this, we chose this, and we invested in you, and the kids that are going to go into those schools and the playgrounds that'll be closer to the building. You want to be able to say confidently, yes, I wanted this, I chose this. That's what I wanted to hear them say. They did.
Before I close, I'm going to let Dr. Rivera make a few comments here.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank the presenters that volunteered and put yourself in a vulnerable spot tonight. Thank you for presenting. I also want to thank the rest of the committee that served. One of the things that I would like to mention is that we have 4 meetings planned out for this committee. And in the 3 meetings, they were all at night. They gave up time. They were on task. They were invested. And the one thing that I can say is they had the call to action in mind, but they had students at the center of every decision they made. And it just warmed my heart to sit there and participate in all these meetings. So, board, I know this is an information-only item tonight. No action will be taken. We'll provide information from now until the next board meeting when you consider the committee's recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. My last comments. First off, I echo what he said. Thank you very much, committee members and our presenters. For the presenters, we need some pictures so that we can put your cell phone numbers out for people to call you afterwards as we move forward on this process. But no, seriously, thank you very much. I will tell you, this board has been looking at facilities reports and things over the last year, and more so the last few months, and we even had a work session to kind of start going over some of this again. So this board has been involved in it, listening to you. You guys have done yeoman's work on this thing. We're very appreciative of that. Thank you very much. And to all those that stayed for this, I know that it's hard to stay, but I think this information is very important. We appreciate your patience in staying here and joining us in that. With that said, if there's no more questions, you have any more?
I was just going to say, Ms. Benuelos,
Yes,
your mom and dad are very proud of you. I saw that, yeah.
I want to know that at that debate, the one I judged, did you win that one?
I won second overall.
You should have got first. But anyways, we appreciate you. All the folks that are here, thank you again. With that said, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now reconvene from our break. Next item on our agenda is the audience section. Ms. Smith, is there anybody that wishes to speak before the board tonight? There being none, board members, the next item on the agenda in your board book is the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that you wish to pull and discuss and vote on separately?
At this time,
I'll entertain a motion.
move to approve.
Have a motion by Mr. Carbo and a second by Mr. Rose. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passes 7-0. We'll now move on to reports of the superintendent. First is an action item under personnel. We will take that first item, evaluation of superintendent of schools. We'll handle that in our second executive session after at the end of the meeting. Next item is action item. We had the evaluation in first executive session on the general counsel, and I'll entertain a motion on his contract renewal.
Make a motion, we accept, renew the contract. General counsel is discussed in executive session.
All right.
Second.
And I have a motion by Mr. Bingham and a second by Ms. Collier to approve the general counsel's contract as discussed in executive session. Are there any further comments or discussion? There being none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passes 7-0. You made it another year or so. Congratulations. We're very proud of you.
And we got a walk-up song for him.
Oh, we do. Should we have had that walk-up song a second ago? Was that Taylor's rendition? All right, next time on the agenda, I don't know, do we really want to do this? Approve administrative term contracts having to do with coaches? Dr. Rivera or Dr. Hensley, who's giving that?
I'll be in the intro. I won't do all the talking because you don't want to hear me talk. But I want to bring up our athletic director extraordinaire, Mr. Cody Groves, is going to make the recommendations on these two items.
Thank you.
President Seward. Where's the tie?
I'm sorry. I apologize. It's been a long day. But President Seward, Board, Dr. Rivera, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you again for all your support for our schools and our kids and our athletic program. We have a couple anxious people out here and anxious families, and so I'm going to kind of get out of the day. But tonight we're going to be recommending two positions to you. The campus coordinator, head football coaches at Mesquite High School, the Mesquite High School, and Poteet High School. And so we're asking for you to approve their administrative contracts. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to the principals of the two schools, starting with Mr. Johnson, and then after he recommends his candidate, we'll turn it over to Dr. Long. So.
Good evening. It is my honor to recommend to you, School Board, Dr. Rivera, Coach Raphael Thomas. Coach Raphael Thomas comes to Mesquite ISD with a decade of coaching experience at several high schools, including Conroe High School, Lovekin High School, and Marshall High School. Most recently, he served as the head coach and assistant athletic director for the last 2 seasons at Jack Yates High School in Houston ISD. He's named to Dave Campbell's Texas Football 40 Under 40 Club. Coach Thomas led Jack Yates to an overall record of 16-6 and an impressive 13-2 performance in district play. His team also recorded a 98% passing rate, with over 30 players receiving scholarship offers. Once drafted to play baseball by the LA Dodgers, Coach Thomas brings an impressive resume of athletic success. His commitment to excellence reflects his passion for sports and his unwavering belief in the power of teamwork and dedication. Coach Raphael Thomas.
Coach, hold on a second before you make your comments. Mr. President?
I think we need to have some action here, see if we want to take him, right?
Yes.
Board members, we have an action item to approve the contract for the coach for Mesquite High School. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Everett and a second by Mr. Carbo. Any further discussion or comments? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passes 7-0.
First off, thank you to the board, Dr. Rivera, Mr. Groves, his athletic department, and Mr. Johnson. I'm glad y'all didn't hold it against me. You've already met my family.
Oh, no, we like your family.
I love them. They're mine, no matter what. So I'll attach names to the voices back here. My wife Jordan, my 5-year-old Callie Parker, and the leader of the show, Miss Tennessee Love, my 2-year-old that introduced herself to everybody during prayer. We're excited to integrate ourselves into the community and serve just all things Mesquite. Our district, administrators, teachers, community, feeder patterns, and all stakeholders of Mesquite. But most importantly, our student athletes. We want to focus on, teaching life through athletics and high character to not only set them up to win in their sport, but just in life and outside of sports, in which they'll do that a lot longer than they play sports. That's our main goal. That's our main focus. And once again, I thank each of you, and I appreciate it. Look forward to it.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Good evening. It is great honor and pride that I recommend, I know, we're excited. I recommend Terrence Orr II for the head football coach at Poteet High School. Terrence Orr II graduated from DeSoto High School and began his coaching career here in Mesquite ISD as a football and track assistant coach at Poteet High School in 2012. Over the last 13 years, Orr has built an impressive resume, including serving as a wide receivers coach for his alma mater's first ever state football championship in 2016. The same year, he was also a member of the coaching staff that led the DeSoto Eagles to the state track championship. He went on to have successful seasons as offensive coordinator for Dallas Carter, North Crowley, and most recently, Hebron High School and Louisville ISD. Now returning to Mesquite High School, Poteet Pirates, to the Mesquite Poteet Pirates as the Pirates head coach, Orr brings a wealth of experience, a proven track record of success, and a commitment to building a culture of excellence and a family within the Poteet athletic program. It is great pride to welcome Coach Orr and his beautiful family to the Poteet Pirate family.
Board members, while he's on his way up, we do have another action item to approve administrative term contract for the Poteet High School football coach. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
We have a motion by Mr. Rose and a second by Ms. Hornsby. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passes 7-0. You're on.
Awesome.
Before you start,
Yes, sir.
I met a young man that you used to coach in Mesquite that's gone on to graduate and is now a financial advisor at Fidelity Investments. He was talking to me a while.
Yes,
He
sir.
came here just to see you get this contract tonight.
Yes, sir.
Evidently, you've done well.
Catch me.
You've done very well.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. First of all, good evening, everybody. First and foremost, I want to give all glory and honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, none of this would have been impossible. His guidance, grace, and unwavering presence have carried me through every step of this journey. And I stand here today as a testament of his blessings and faithfulness. I want to express my deepest gratitude to my incredible wife, Raven, my rock, my greatest supporter. Her love, encouragement, and sacrifices have been the foundation of everything that I do. To my amazing kids, Trey, Reagan, Tyson, you are my daily inspiration. You remind me why I push harder, dream bigger, and strive to set an example of perseverance and dedication. To my parents, my family, thank you for being the cornerstone of my life. You've shown me what it means to lead with integrity, faith, and resilience, and I carry those lessons with me every single day. It's my hope and prayer to continue to build the legacy you've created. To Dr. Rivera, the school board, and Dr. Long and Cody Groves, thank you for entrusting me with this incredible opportunity. It's not just a job to me, it's a calling and responsibility that I do not take lightly. Returning to Poteet, a place that holds such a special place in my heart, it's an honor beyond words. This is about so much more than football. This is about building a family, strengthening a community, creating a program that inspires not just our players, but every student, teacher, parent, and member of the Poteet community. Together, we will create an environment where excellence is a standard and every person feels value and the power to succeed. My vision is to instill respect, honor, and pride back to this football program, not just for today, but generations to come. I want every young athlete to dream about wearing that Poteet jersey with pride, and every family to stand tall and say, we are Poteet. This isn't just about wins and losses, it's about transforming lives and building character and creating memories that will last a lifetime. This opportunity is more than a role for me. It's my passion, mission, and my commitment to all of you. I am humbled to lead, excited to serve, and ready to work tirelessly alongside you to build something extraordinary. Thank you for believing in me, and I cannot wait to see what we can accomplish together. Go Pirates.
Congratulations. Congratulations to both of you. We're glad you're here in Mesquite. We're looking forward to your leadership. Next item on the agenda is the report for resignations and new hires. If you have any questions, don't believe there are any. Next item on the agenda is under effectiveness reports. We have a report on teaching and learning. Dr. Morris? I believe you're going to have Matt Kane and Tara Nichols are going to also present tonight? Oh, she got sick, I'm sorry.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'll give them just a minute. It's going to be just Matt and me tonight. I meant up here. Good evening, President Seward, trustees, and Dr. Rivera. I am so excited to present the effectiveness report with you for the Teaching and Learning Department. And as always, I want to take every opportunity to thank you all again for providing me with this amazing opportunity to lead this incredible team. As you know, Teaching and Learning is a large division consisting of a number of departments who also complete effectiveness reports for their areas. While we were all connected and our work overlaps like spaghetti, we will be focusing tonight's presentation on the impact of our core content teams for both elementary and secondary. Our team exists to empower and support great teaching. With every decision and every action, we work to provide impactful learning experiences for our students. As you listen to the updates from each of our areas, I hope you will listen in for our commitment for collaboration, responsiveness, and support. Unfortunately, our Director of Elementary Teaching and Learning, Tara Nichols, is out sick today. I know she was looking forward to presenting to you this evening, but I will do my best to present her information. The first of which is the planning and growth around pre-K enrollment. Research shows that students who are enrolled in regularly attending pre-kindergarten classes have better academic outcomes. We have a committee that has been working with Commit for the last few years to put together a marketing and enrollment plan to find and enroll all eligible pre-K students. The data in front of you shows the growth from last year to this year in pre-K. As you can see, we've already made progress in 1 year. The committee has met multiple times this year to tweak our marketing plan and continue growth in the years to come. We are excited to see the impact of our pre-K expansion on our students' readiness for kindergarten and beyond. A couple of months ago, Alicia Austin provided you all with a comprehensive overview of our STAR results for all grade levels. We won't be reviewing all of that data, but we did want to take a moment to assure you that we are keeping our sights on third grade reading. From the 2022 assessment to the 2024 assessment, both MISD and the state lost ground. While we are clearly not where we want to be, our district percentages have not declined by as much as the state, and we are working strategically to improve. The work of achieving on-level reading by third grade begins in our pre-K and kinder classrooms. While early literacy has been a priority in Mesquite for several years, these last 2 years have required significant changes in our efforts based on the science of reading research that has been rolled out across the state through the Texas Reading Academies. As a district, we are working collaboratively with our campuses to implement and monitor these changes in action. We are also a grant finalist, one of only 16 districts in the state with the Moody Foundation for the Texas Reads Texas Leads grant. The TXRL grant is a cohort-based initiative aimed at helping districts develop and implement K-3 literacy plans to meet academic outcomes in the area of early literacy. The excitement from the team leading this work is evident, and we look forward to reporting our progress in the future. Another way we're working towards student achievement in the world of early literacy is through intentional data analysis. Our coordinator, Andrea Bailey, has met individually with almost every one of our elementary school leadership teams to talk about their data from the beginning of year for grades K through 2. It is important to note that these students do not take state assessments, so analyzing this data requires new skills for our campus leaders and teachers. The campus feedback has been overwhelmingly positive about these visits, and we believe that by supporting our campus leaders with continued focus on data analysis for the lower grades, we can help campuses make informed decisions that will move our literacy efforts forward in the foundational years. In all of our content areas, our elementary coordinators and facilitators find every opportunity to impact instruction. The elementary math team has started training campus leadership and teacher leaders this year in a group they call Math Collaborative. They work through the new STEM Scopes curriculum with this group and coach them on what they should see and hear in the elementary math classroom. Working side by side with the executive directors of leadership development, we've worked on making the data strategy meetings, formerly known as DATS, more meaningful to campuses. We just finished our second district checkpoint of the year, and in response to campus feedback, we moved all data strategy meetings to a group format. We will continue to tweak the process and meet the needs of our campuses. Our science department is supporting campuses through a new curriculum adoption. Teachers and administrators have been so complimentary of the planning documents our team has developed to support the campuses in their use of the new curriculum. When a vendor came recently to train teachers, they were so impressed with the support that our elementary facilitators have written into the curriculum resources that they told us our curriculum was the best they've seen. In addition to helping and supporting curriculum, our team is committed to providing memorable and impactful experiences for students beyond the classroom. For example, our third graders visit the Opal Lawrence Historical Park and Florence Ranch Homestead to get a local perspective of what it would have been like to live in Mesquite in years past. We take our fourth graders to Austin to see our state capitol. This is a long day of bus travel, seeing the sights, and museum visits, all of which culminates in a day of learning that our students will never forget. Our elementary students can now participate in National History Day through a poster contest. This was our first year with the competition, and we had 2 of our teams advance to state. That's a huge accomplishment for the first-year teams. With the new resources and lab equipment in our science classrooms, our elementary students are learning what it feels like to be true scientists, and they're so cute. We hope that all of these experiences that our students take part in during their elementary years turn into lifelong habits of learning as they move into their secondary school years. And with that, I'll hand it over to our Director of Secondary Teaching and Learning, Mr. Matt Kane.
Good evening, Dr. Rivera, President Seward, and Board of Trustees. As we look at the work being done in secondary teaching and learning, I think it's important to begin by discussing the goal and the mindset shift that we are operating from. In core instruction, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that everything culminates in STAR. And while STAR is certainly a major part of what we focus on in secondary teaching and learning, our main objective is producing students that are college ready. The graphic you see on the screen displays our systematic approach in producing college-ready students. At the core of this approach is the belief that increasing student opportunities and improving Tier 1 instruction at every level is the best way to improve our students' college readiness. Tier 1 instruction refers to the core curriculum and the foundational level of teaching provided to all students in a classroom setting. What you now see on the screen are just some of the strategic actions that we are taking in our attempt to increase opportunities and to improve instruction. I will go into more detail on a few of these actions in the coming slides. Some of these actions are new initiatives, and some are initiatives that were already in place that we have adjusted for improvement. You'll notice that all of these have a foundation of the learner profile and the Mesquite ISD instructional framework that Dr. Morris will speak on in the presentation later. Each of these unique actions and many more work together to accomplish one goal: college readiness through increased student opportunities, and improved Tier 1 instruction. Qualitative and quantitative data often tell a better story than a list of actions, and the following slides display some of the numbers behind the actions that we have taken. We have shifted from traditional DAT meetings following a district checkpoint to PLC-level district strategy meetings. Secondary teaching and learning has been able to support over 100 6th through 11th grade PLCs following each DCP and provide campus and teacher-specific instructional guidance. The shift has allowed for extended data conversations to a more targeted audience and has built the capacity of our teachers in terms of analyzing data. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to Dr. Long, a principal at Poteet, who just had her social studies and math DSMs, and she said that the conversations went to a level that she had never seen before. And so we are excited to hear that good news in the shift that we've made this year. In an attempt to better prepare our students for success on college readiness assessments such as the SAT and TSIA2, we have started embedding instructional resources and support into Tier 1 instruction. One bright spot in these efforts can be found in math, where we have seen an increase in the satisfactory and advanced levels of performance when you compare the data from DCP1 to DCP2 in geometry and algebra 2. Simply put, the work we're doing is allowing our students to master skills that they will see on the college readiness assessments. Our department has offered over 200 professional learning opportunities that include content training, as well as sessions over the implementation of research-based instructional strategies in the classroom. This includes supporting over 150 science teachers as they navigate the new science TEKs that were implemented in classrooms this year, with a focus on using recurring themes and concepts in scientific and engineering practices. In November, all 6th through 10th grade RLA teachers came together for calibrating and scoring extended constructed responses submitted by their students. Teachers spent time analyzing where their students were currently experiencing success on the ECR rubric and identified necessary instructional pivots to move student performance forward on the ECRs. As we continue to be more strategic in pushing more students towards advanced pathways, we celebrate that students in Mesquite ISD earned over 14,000 dual credit college hours through the opportunities provided to them. This is an increase of 400 hours from 21-22 school year. And that number should only increase with the recent changes to our ranking point system and the TSI requirement changes for dual credit courses. The expansion of AVID in our district also has powerful numbers behind it. Under Alicia Chapman's leadership, we currently have AVID at 15 sites across our district, and AVID students from the class of 2024 earned just under $6 million in scholarship money. AVID's mission is to close the opportunity gap by preparing all students for college and career readiness and success in a global society. And the graph on the screen displays how AVID supports our students for success on assessments such as the PSAT. We are committed to the growth of our teachers through opportunities such as the social studies cadre that is in year 3 and the math building thinking classrooms cadre. We have seen shifts in instruction from these opportunities with one math teacher from Vanston Middle School, Miss Bakhtiar, noting the change that she has seen in her classroom culture and overall student performance in regards to math. In addition to the work that we do with campuses, we are also committed to collaborating with other departments within the district to move the mission and vision forward. Teaching and Learning meets with all of the instructional coaches once a month for content and instructional training. We also meet with principals and APs 4 times a year at Elevate to provide them with legislative updates, instructional initiatives, and other relevant training. Secondary Teaching and Learning will meet with campus counselors later this month in an effort to better support and equip counselors as they advise students in their academic paths. Teaching and Learning and Admin Services collaborated on a project earlier this year to rewrite our course description guide so that students and parents can better understand the detailed workings of and opportunities in high school. The collaboration does not stop there, as Teaching and Learning works with members from the Assessment and Accountability Department, Instructional Technology, or the EDLDs on a weekly basis. We look forward to how the increased collaboration will impact student success.
It's been an exciting year for teaching and learning. Our department has experienced a number of changes and new people, myself included. From our first interaction with campus leaders at our summer ILT to every meeting and conversation since, our aim is just to listen to the needs of our campuses and respond with meaningful support. We have been working in collaboration across departments and with our campus leaders to design a common instructional framework that is research-based for our district. An instructional framework will provide our campuses with a clear and structured expectation for what effective instruction must include. Naming the essential elements of instruction will allow us to provide more consistent and targeted support, as well as more intentional professional learning opportunities. As we put our instructional framework into action, it will serve as the foundation upon which all curriculum is designed. This will result in a more consistent and coherent curriculum across all content areas and grade levels. We're really excited about what's to come, and we hope that you will hold us accountable to this slide specifically when you hear from us again. And with that, that's our time and some. Thank you, and let us know if you have questions.
I don't have a question, I just have a comment.
Sure.
I love Avid, I'm an advocate for them. I am so pleased to see the numbers and how we're increasing with that. That's a great program.
It sure is.
Elementary through high school, so.
I got to be an Avid principal at 2 different schools, and you can't find a bigger advocate than me.
Yes,
And
yes.
I want to give a quick shout out to Alicia Chapman, who has done a lot of work,
Yes.
obviously, as the AVID coordinator. She's created an AVID website that teachers can go to get
cool.
crucial information. And on those professional learning days that we have, she's provided space for collaboration among our AVID teachers
Good.
across the district. And so we're really seeing the
Good.
fruit from that.
Thank you.
Loved listening to the intentionality of that. Like intentionally listening to what people are saying, like we need this, and then responding appropriately. That's
the plan.
Awesome. That works.
I don't know, Dr. Morris or Matt, either one of you, how do you measure the progress on college readiness for the students that are in Mesquite ISD? I mean, when I look at, you had mentioned STAR, when we compare ourselves with neighboring districts, Garland, Richardson, Plano, Rockwall, is there a way where we can measure the progress on getting our students ready for college?
Yes, sir. When we look at particularly the assessments such as TSIA and SAT, those are the assessments by which we really do gauge that college readiness. Additionally, what we're looking at is expanding opportunities for our students to take more and more AP courses and dual credit courses. And so as we bridge that gap between high school and college, the more dual credit hours or opportunities that you can take college level courses, those remove excuses for students not to try college, right? Whenever they're already experiencing college level work, that allows us to bridge that gap.
Also, Mr. Everett, they have a test called TSAIA2 that measured the college readiness of the kids. So we're a testing site, so we can always track that through that.
And there's been a lot of focus on making sure we're preparing students, more and more students for that.
Can I ask a question? Of course. The kids have to sign up to get scholarships on that. How's it coming? I know it was a mess last year. Is it better?
Are you talking about FAFSA?
Yes.
So yes, that's a word in my house too right now. I have a senior in my home. They were delayed on the start of FAFSA for this year, but it has been rolling more smoothly so far.
Good, because I know it was a nightmare last year.
Well, and they took a little time. I actually got to go to a conference where they presented about why they were taking a couple of extra months to go ahead and get it right before launching.
That's a good
And
thing.
so by waiting, it looked like, and I mean, I can't speak for the FAFSA people, but in our house, it's moving more smoothly.
Did I read right that the number of students taking dual credit classes has dramatically expanded over the last year or so?
It has increased, and
Okay.
what we're looking forward to is that we are now, as we partner with Dallas College, the requirement for students to have passed the TSI has been adjusted, and therefore our students are going to have earlier access to dual credit.
Oh, I like it.
So we're excited about that too.
Okay, cool.
There seems to be more questions, but first off, excellent report.
Thank you very much.
And we are looking forward to the continued success and growth of our students as we move forward. So we're going to take that page and we're going to hold you
Absolutely.
accountable for it. How's that?
That's right. We're
You
here
wanted
to
us
grow.
to, right?
You bet.
Thanks for the excellent job you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Next item on the agenda is under instruction. It has to do with conducting a public hearing on the annual performance report. Dr. Fields?
You can also cover construction too.
Yeah, construction.
Good evening again, trustees. The Texas Education Code requires each district's Board of Trustees to conduct a public hearing for discussion of the annual performance report. In previous board meetings, we have gone over all of the accountability and achievement data for our students. So tonight is an opportunity for our community to give input or ask questions.
Thank you. I will now move from our regular meeting to open the public hearing on the annual performance report. Is there anyone that wishes to speak on the report?
Anybody in the front?
The four students? No. Well, there being none, we will now close the hearing and reconvene to our regular meeting. Next on the agenda, under administration, is a report on the Leadership Empowerment Team by Dr. LaDonna Gully. And while she's on her way up here, I would like to commend her for the outstanding speech she gave at the LULAC on January 4th that I was able to attend and listen. She blew everybody away, and she represented Mesquite ISD extremely well with the not only the Mesquite Promise, but entwining it to the future of Mesquite ISD. You did a great job, and I had a lot of comments about it. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to say good evening, and thank you so much for those gracious comments. I am here to talk about leadership and empowerment, and in particular, what our department is doing and how well it's going. So I want to let you know that, yes, I did bring my repertoire with me. Look at them. They're so happy to be here, right? So, and I'll talk a little bit about them as we continue this. Of course, our mission in Mesquite ISD is to make sure that we are removing any type of barrier for our students, for the people in our organization, and overall for our community. And of course, all of this work was really a stimulus from you. You stated a few years back that we are committed to creating a culture of dignity that leads to belonging. And so all of the work that the Leadership and Empowerment Department does is truly surrounded around that particular statement. So thank you. We are working hard to really stay committed to that, right? So last year, we worked on our strategic plan for our district, and particularly for my department, we really looked at 3 areas, and that's really all about how we continue our shared vision of creating a positive climate and culture that really cultivates belonging and academic achievement. We also look closely at leadership expansion, and so I look forward to talking a little bit about that later on. And then, of course, our continued commitment to our families and communities and making sure that we are engaging our families on all of our campuses. And so what does that look like, right? First and foremost, it really speaks to the Mesquite Promise, which are our 4 principles and 16 habits that we believe. So many people have shared with me that this is really how we get things done in our community, but it's so much more about our values and what we believe day in and day out about our students, about the people that we work with, and our community overall. And so when we say the things like you are made to excel, you belong here, your dignity is a given, and you are a difference makers, we are always then going out looking for that and activating that everywhere we can. And so when we talk about like, how are we really using that and how is that being implemented? The first and foremost is the Promise of Monday, which is a monthly s'more that comes out through our amazing communications department. I work really closely with, of course, Sabrina, but also Michael Cheryl, who really helps me with coming up with really great ideas and figuring out how are we going to really engage our families, but also engage our teachers and staff. The other piece of that is the curriculum piece that we actually added last fall. And this was with the help of Erin Tabola, who is one of our teachers, who myself and Sabrina had actually started working on it. And she was like, hey, let me see what I can do with it, and truly took off with it. And these are those 3 to 5 minute lessons, really engaging, that we can do with students that really activate the Mesquite Promise day in and day out. And then, of course, when we talk about just overall culture in schools, we have 52 LET captains that put teams together on their campuses to really create what culture will look like. And as I shared with a school last week, I said, you know, the culture is you, which oftentimes so many of our people in our organizations say, well, I didn't realize that the culture is me. But yeah, the culture is you. Whatever we have is what we have really developed together. And so remembering that really allows us to really work hard and think differently about how we model and how we embody the Mesquite Promise. And so in particular, this year, we're looking at 3 goals, and that's how we activate the lessons. It's also creating a mentor-mentee program overall. And then, of course, how we are making sure that we're engaging our families at every single one of our schools. When we talk about culture and community, that is Project LEAD, which I am so grateful for, Dr. Fineglass, thank you. It's something that was actually given to me, such a great gift, something that was actually work that was led by Dr. Fineglass last year. And this is our 2nd cohort. We had an amazing group. Some of them were here tonight just listening in to the board meeting, and they are looking forward to hopefully becoming board members or working in city leadership. And so they are already joining committees and leading things in our community. So we look forward to seeing what they're going to do. The one thing about Project LEAD that really stands out is that it's such a great connection, and it's really a great way that we connect and really bring all of us together. And then when we talk about our students, right? So I have to really acknowledge my Mesquite students right here. They are absolutely amazing. These are just some of our emerging leaders from Mesquite High School. But as you know, we have over 500 emerging leaders all over Mesquite ISD. And our students are doing amazing volunteer work. There are over 500 hours that they've already done so far, and we're just halfway in. They are constantly at elementary schools and at middle schools, helping, supporting, figuring out what they can do. And they're even elves when they need to be, right, for the city, right? How cool is that, right? We also, with them, they do amazing work. Our amazing Shake students are also doing a great job. And we had over 300 students back here in December, learning and doing their instant challenges and being very nervous and crying. I'm like, you guys have to get all your jitters out before May. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna get it together, as they're crying, of course, right? But just so proud of those kids as we move forward. And then guess what's coming? And it started today, our junior emerging leaders. This is for our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Myself and Dr. Fineglass talked really extensively in the fall about the need to really get this started and get this going. So I just want to thank her just for her leadership on that and helping with the overall guidance of this. We are all about how we help our students in this area provide a level of self-acceptance, self-management, self-growth, resiliency, all of the great things, right, that they need at middle schools. Because we know that middle schoolers, one day they want to be adults, and the next minute they want to be babies. So, you know, we never know, right? But we started today. Woolley Middle School was our first campus that actually had their meeting today. Kimbrough is meeting later this week, as well as Terry, Berry, and Wilkinson Middle School. So 6 of the 10 middle schools are all participating actively in this pilot. We will go full force in the fall. All right. And so when we talk about implications and outcomes, I want to share with you a story about one of our students. Carla Ramirez last year participated in the Celebration of Knowledge, and her team introduced to a couple of judges this enhancing education program that's really designed to be a mentor-mentee program between upperclassmen and lowerclassmen. And so this is what's actually happening at West Mesquite. If we can play the video. Oh, there it is.
I decided to become a mentor because I myself struggled a lot my freshman and sophomore year, and I just really wanted to be able to help my underclassmen and give them the help that I wish I had. It was a little intimidating, but I decided to take on the challenge because I really wanted to be able to provide and give advice to someone in my position, because we have to take in mind that Mesquite has a lot of first-generation students who don't really have someone to help them at home or give them advice. And enhancing education really provides that individual or that older sibling figure that will make sure you're keeping on track and provide you with just resources that will be able to help you throughout high school.
I like being a part of this program because I see it helping and advancing my education to better help my future, not only for me, but for whoever also needs help.
Well, I would like to help my mentee in anything she has a question about, anything at all. I would love to help her with her homework if she ever needed me to. Most of all, I know when I was starting high school, I didn't really know about rank and stuff. So I really want to help her get to know how to compete with her classmates and stuff.
My mentor, Alexa, has provided so much support for me with homework, and even whenever I procrastinate, she's been there emotionally and provided a great mentorship for me and has been perfect. I love her very much, and without this program, I would have never known her.
It has impacted my plans after high school by encouraging me to do anything I want if I want to continue to put effort in and responsibility.
I wanted to become a mentor for this program because of the multiple freshmen that come into high school without knowing how grades or rank works and without knowing what extracurricular programs are available. Becoming a mentor has grown on me by being a part of a student's high school life and them having someone to talk to when they need help on anything. By becoming the first ever president of Enhancing Education, I have seen multiple positive things come out from it. By building new relationships and having new friendships from seeing kids actually being helped in. I really see the founder, Carla Ramirez's vision coming out and happening with this program.
Wow, that's a student. That's a student idea last year that is now a reality at West Mesquite. It is amazing. Over 4 years, our goal was to create leadership around excellence always that would make a difference in our community. We do feel like in this department, we are activating that goal every single day. And I would be remiss if I did not mention the over 250 volunteers, because they are the ones that ultimately make the difference. But you see here are a few of our lit captains from around our city and, of course, our emerging leaders. I'm just extremely grateful. There is no way this work could get done without them. And I just want to say thank you so much. Finally, you did receive a little gift from us, and I wanted to introduce you. That came from Ruby Ramos, who is a freshman at Poteet High School. But these students stayed because they had gifts for you too, and they wanted to be able to give them to the board members if that's okay. Thank you for all that you do. Any questions?
Questions? Board members?
Just a comment, I know that we discussed earlier in the year about, I guess we did a survey of junior high kids and how there were some struggles with belonging at those ages. So I'm excited to see that we're going to try to hit those kids and try to grab that before they start having issues. Thank you so much. So that's kind of encouraging to see that at the junior high level, to keep that going and to see how that turns out.
Yeah, we are definitely working with the middle school. We knew that that was the missing piece. And so I cannot just thank just all of you, but definitely, Dr. Fineglass for saying, yeah, let's go on and see how far we can get. So, yeah. Now we have a complete student leadership program from elementary all the way through high school. So, yes.
That's very good.
Excellent report. Thank you very much. Thank you for all that you do. We appreciate it very much, and the culture is changing, and we love it. And thank you, students, for these wonderful items here. Appreciate what you do all the time. Keep mentoring all the others around you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda under administration, we already moved it up and talked to it earlier. That was the Facilities Committee. The next item under that is an action item to approve the 2025 to 2026 school calendar. Ms. Smith?
Thank you, President Seward, trustees, Dr. Rivera. I'm honored to present to you a little bit about the process and proposed 25-26 school calendar. We're about a month ahead of schedule, which we'd actually like to start bringing this to you each January so we can get a published calendar out there. First thing we do is establish the priorities for developing the calendar. First and foremost, plan for the quality instructional days that not only meet our students' needs, but also the state mandated minutes for instruction. We want to front load some professional learning opportunities so that staff are prepared for the new year. Provide at least 2 dedicated classroom work days only, not for trainings and meetings. That's very important to our staff. And then maintain the traditional holidays as well as the week-long fall break that was added a few years back. And to the extent possible, and calendars change every year because the days, Christmas falls on a Monday and then a Tuesday and then a Wednesday, et cetera. But to the extent possible, we'd like to maintain some consistency so that families know what to expect from year to year and there's not big drastic changes in our school calendar. So during the development process, got a lot of input, starting with cabinet, talked with personnel services and Jill about calendar days, contract days, et cetera. Teaching and learning directors, sat down with them, got feedback from campus principals, our district leadership team, the athletic department to see how that calendar impacts them, as well as the MEA calendar committee. So lots of input during the process of developing the calendar. I want to kind of take you through the secret sauce. Step 1, planning for instruction. We like to put on the calendar those required minutes, minimum 75,600 minutes. Any minutes over that are banked for any bad weather, snow days, or other unexpected closures. And then place those traditional holidays and breaks, which now includes our week-long fall break, which has been very, very popular with surveys since we implemented that. So this is the calendar look at just doing that. Now, again, we tried to maintain some consistency, so we looked at starting on that second full week Wednesday, just like we did this year. That would have been the 13th. But then when we got down to the end, that put us ending on the Friday, May 29th, which was graduation, interfering with graduation practices. So we backed it up to a Tuesday. Our surveys have shown, not so much for families, but our staff, particularly teachers, like not having a Monday start. They feel like just a whole week, the first week is a lot. Wednesday was their preference, but we pushed it to Tuesday this week, so it's still not a Monday start, but not a full 5 days that first week. Also, high school was telling us that's good because they get an A-B. So they see the kids twice before they start the first full week of school. So the school start date will be August 12th. Then you can see those blue dates. Those are those traditional holidays, including fall break. So we put those on the calendar, and that's the student instructional time, right? So that's half of the puzzle. The next half is staff, all right? So we add professional learning days. We want to keep those 2 dedicated work days. We have to ensure the calendar includes 187 work days, which is most of our teachers and paraprofessionals. We do have some teachers who are on 190, 192, et cetera. But the majority of them are 187 work days. And then lastly, we look at identifying workdays for 226 personnel, which is most people in this room. So then it looks a little bit like this. So with the 12th being the start date, we have to front load professional development. And in order to get from workday 187, one of 187, that has to be on July 31st. Now that's a pain point. Folks just can't get over it saying July. It's one day, but it is July. But that's necessary in order to get those days in and not come back in June of the following summer. So July 31st will be report day for teachers. 187 teachers, day teachers and paraprofessionals. You can see those blue days there in July, 23rd, 24th, 28th, 29th. That'll be our new hire camp. So teachers have 6 days before school starts that are for professional learning, be that campus-based, district-based, or meetings and such on campus. Those blue days, the 6th and 11th, are set aside for working in the classroom. And that was very important from MEA, that they had time dedicated to not be pulled into meetings or trainings, but preparing their classroom and their spaces for students. So that's what those 2 days are. And then our kids come back on August 12th. So then you see same holidays we had on the previous slide. The difference here is you see those yellow days, September 15th and 29th, November 3rd and 4th, one of those being election days. So we've determined that that's a good practice to not have our schools open since some of those are election sites. January 5th, February 2nd, and March 2nd. So those are dates that are for professional learning, be it campus or district. The back-to-back days are paired, like the 15th and the 29th and the 3rd and the 4th from professional learning. And teaching and learning told us that that is a great way to pair one day dedicated to secondary and then the other day dedicated to elementary at the district level. That means they're vice versa on the campus. So everyone was really pleased with this year's calendar. It got high marks. And so we just really tried to duplicate it, make it as close to possible as we could. You'll see there that May 29th is the last teacher work day, so they can get their things together and get out of there. That's day 187 for them. It is coming back after Memorial Day, which is not a popular option, but I'll show you in just a minute how we kind of use this survey to get some answers and educate folks about why we have to do that. So here's the highlights. Kind of went over all that. Easter is April 4th, which makes that spring holiday rather early. That's a long stretch. We know it. There's just not any way to give a holiday there without, again, going into June for staff or earlier in July. So once the calendar draft was set, we met again with DLT to get feedback, ILT, and set final steps with that MEA calendar committee, which was really great and gave us some last minute insight into the draft that you see before you today. We then published the draft calendar for feedback opportunities, and then last step, I'm here today. Really quickly, we sent a survey out. It's 1,691 responses. This shows you a breakdown of who responded, and they could, I forced them to select how they were answering about the calendar, so they couldn't pick more than one. When we filter out just for parents and guardians, 72% of them gave them a passing grade. I said rate it 1 to 10. 1, I hate everything about it. 10, I love it, wouldn't change a thing. And we had 72% gave it a 7, 8, 9, or 10. So pretty pleased with that. When you go to staff, a little less popular. 3.7% hate everything about it, but 61% give us a passing grade, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Interesting, this is the question that I use to kind of educate folks. We know you want to get out before Memorial Day. What would you give up to get out before Memorial Day? Because you have to give up something. Fall break, shorten it to 4. 18% of parents, guardians said yes. But you see there's 60% of parents and guardians said, no, never mind, I'm good. We can go past Memorial Day. Staff, same thing, 57% were like, oh, okay, I'm good. 21% said, oh, you could shorten fall break, but that still would be not a very popular decision, in my opinion, based on survey data. Well, I took the opportunity real quickly while we had the survey out is just to ask families, what are your kids doing when we're not in school? Something that I thought was good for us to know for lots of planning reasons, and when we have professional learning days, what are your kids doing? You can see 42% of our elementary students, there's a parent or guardian at home with them. Some 11% have to take off. You see 10% pay for childcare. 21% have a family member. So what that says to me is 42% of our families have someone at home when naturally stay-at-home parent or guardian, and that was elementary students. And the secondary students ask a little bit different, same question, a little bit different results. 63% have an adult present at home. That was good to know. But 3% go to work, 6% stay home with other siblings, 18% stay at home. So not directly related to the calendar, but I thought it was a good opportunity to get that information. That being said, we have the calendar dressed up pretty in English and Spanish, ready to be published if the board approves that this evening. And if you have any questions, I would love to answer them.
Well, Dallas College has already adopted their break at the same time, right? They won't be changing that?
Well, I don't speak for Dallas College, but they did put it out into districts and let us know that that is when they will have it. And it is the 3rd full week in March, just like this year. So that is. I have not. I looked at Garland's, which is very similar to ours, actually. But they actually come back 2 days in July for their teachers. But really take a look just to see what other districts are doing. Make sure that, we're not getting, some districts are getting really creative. I think we have a fall break because a neighboring district decided fall break was a good idea. But all in all, we want to build the calendar for what works for our families and community. And remember, the majority of our staff who have families, who have children, are in Mesquite ISD. So we kind of got away from trying to match this calendar or that calendar or that calendar because we would never be able to make everyone happy.
Well, I heard from a number of parents, including my daughter, they really love the fall break and those other breaks you have with the kids to shorten some of those weeks to give everybody a break. So they very much appreciated getting the survey, and I'm sure some of the others did too, as well as some of the staff. But great work on the calendar. Any other questions? This is an action item. I need a motion.
So move.
I have a motion by Ms. Hornsby and a second by Mr. Everett. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the 2025 to 2026 school calendar, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Thanks, Sabrina. Next item under administration, we got to listen to Taylor Morris again. Discussion on district-wide intruder detection audit report findings. Mr. Morris.
Good evening, President Seward. And yes, since I last talked to y'all, we've had a few more of these intruder audits. Got a report from Mr. Moore this morning. We have had 25 of our 52 schools, so we're at 48% of our schools, which is on track. We're supposed to have 100% annually. We're halfway through the year, so we're right about that place. I've mentioned in several board meetings that we have the district vulnerability assessment coming that's a little bit more in depth, a little bit more collaborative with the campuses. Those, we still haven't been notified on when they'll begin. I know Mr. Moore and Mr. Wilkins are training principals on that next week, and so they'll get a little bit better understanding of what those district vulnerability assessments will entail prior to those happening with TEA. Thank y'all.
Before we move we're going to move it back into executive session to discuss superintendent's evaluation, but prior to that, staff members, appreciate you being here tonight. There will be no action item during the executive session or even after the executive session. You're welcome to stay if you wish, but if you want to leave, that's fine. I think that nothing else is going to happen. We got an attorney with us that will keep us straight. So I will now officially, the board will now go into executive session under Texas Government Code Section 551.074 to discuss the superintendent's evaluation. As I said, no action will be taken in closed meeting. Whoa.
So I see you at the parade.
The Board of Trustees of Mesquite ISD reconvenes from closed session to an open meeting at 9:53 p.m. There is no action items that were taken from closed session. We will now, since there's no more questions by the board members, we are now adjourned. Appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. We're adjourned at 9:54.